they understand that they are wrong now. The ones who come out and say that it's impacting them, but they're still right, or that like they just, like people who are like, I don't know if my farm is going to be able to, get past these terrorists. So I'm just praying every night that Trump tempers his hand. I'm praying to the Lord Jesus. Like those people, like they're still far gone. Mm. Sorry, my chat's being flooded by like a random like service message. Uh, Lonzetta on Twitch says single issue bigot. Yeah, like there are a lot of single issue bigots. Like there are a lot of people who are like bigoted about one thing enough to vote based on it, or like to organize their life around it. A lot of multi issue bigots too. Mm. Oh my God, yeah. Like some of you are like are posting like example messages that people will put like, yeah, they're all 100% right, well, for legit. Um, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so at the risk of leading us down another topic that is very steeped in movies, I mentioned yesterday that I wanted to talk or learn more about the conspiracies. Well, generally speaking, some Catholic conspiracies, and I'm not talking Dan Brown stuff. I have seen the Da Vinci Code, but that was it, and I don't remember anything about it. Um, what do you call it? I don't remember anything about it, uh, except for the albino who whips himself. So I was like, perfect. The Pope is dead. I was like, perfect, obvious. No, I don't care either way. The Pope is dead. Perfect time to talk about some Catholic conspiracy theories. And by talk about, I mean learn along with you. The one that I specifically was reminded of, because I was at the Core Raiders live show in Brooklyn last week, hosted by my friends Jeremy and Alex and Claire. And they had a live show in Brooklyn. And one of the questions, so like the premise of Core Raiders, the podcast, is that they go onto various websites, not just Quora, which is a website where people ask questions and crowdsource answers for it, but basically any online web page or forum where people are engaging in that kind of behavior. So like no stupid questions, subreddit, Quora, like WikiHow, for example. And one of the questions that they addressed or like they touched on because the Pope had just died before the show was about the Black Pope. And I immediately was like, oh shit, I totally forgot about that. And so I don't know how much you guys know about like, and this is part of a larger web of conspiracy, how much you guys know about the Jesuits, because the Black Pope is part of a larger conspiracy, a larger web of conspiracies related to the Jesuit subsect religion of Christianity. I guess they're a part of Catholicism. I don't know a ton about Christianity or about Catholicism, but like a lot of times you have big meta overarching conspiracies, right? Like the New World Order is in charge of everything. And a lot of times, like the group this is a school of mystery, like the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group, the New World Order. Usually, when you're talking about like religions that have been implicated in widespread conspiracies, and I'm just reporting the news, don't accuse me of this. You're talking about people engaging in anti-Semitism. Like you're talking about people who are like focusing on like, or who are putting forth Jewish people, like people who practice Judaism, as the source of like whatever conspiracy they are obsessed with. So like, Bush didn't do 9/11. The Mossad and Israeli intelligence did 9/11. Um, the Israelis assassinated JFK. The Israelis are behind this. Jewish people are behind this. Like that's like that tends to be what most people are familiar with when it comes to conspiracy and explanations for conspiracies within society. And there's a reason for that. It's because, like, generally speaking, anti-Semitic tropes have been a large part of like Western culture for a very, very long time, and that's part of the reason why it's a big reason why the Holocaust happened, But it's also part of the reason why a lot of our countries now are overly unctuous for and bend over backwards to support Israel, because it allows for them to use, and this is just part of the neoliberal agenda too, the neoliberal identity politics agenda. It allows them to use like Israel, an ethno-nationalist state that references Judaism to justify their brutal ethno-nationalist aims. um, it allows them to use that state as a neoliberal totem to absolve themselves of current and sometimes past accusations of anti-Semitism. So you even see people now engaging in a type of Holocaust revisionism that positions like, oh no, the Holocaust was actually caused by like Palestinians. Hitler was just convinced by like a Palestinian mufti or whatever to like actually do the Holocaust. Like stuff like that is foundational to like part of the way the Israel is utilized by Western countries to absolve themselves of forms of like accusations of bigotry, systemic and historical. Um, but another group, besides, we're moving away from Jewish people now, right? Another group that, for people who are just a little bit more sophisticated in their conspiracy theories, like people who are, probably still believe some anti-Semitic conspiracy theories if they're really into conspiracy theories, like th- a little bit more sophisticated in, I wouldn't want to say deranged, right? But like, they don't think it's Jewish people. They think it's the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is another group of people. Obviously, Catholics in America have been, demonized in the past, right? There are anti-Catholic slurs, and it just is what it is. Like, a lot of people in America don't blame Jewish people for conspiracy theories. They blame the Catholic Church. And you can kind of see why that is. So, like, obviously, there is, like I said before, a history of anti Catholic sentiment in the United States of America. But it's not just America, obviously, where that has existed. There's been inter-Christian conflicts for a very long time. But within the Catholic Church is another group called the Jesuits, which I don't know too much about, but the things that we watch will probably get into that, if a little bit incorrectly. So like, a lot of people will blame the Catholic Church for that stuff. You can see why too. Like I said, not just the anti-Catholic sentiment. They are a top-down hierarchy that dresses kind of weirdly and practices like, archaic or seemingly archaic rituals in public. They adorn themselves with gold. Like, it's, if you're just like looking at it casually, you don't understand the historical nature of it and all of like the things that are going on, it's very easy to like imagine that they're doing something sinister. And to be fair, in the past, they really have. That's the other thing that underpins a lot of why people believe the Catholic Church is still like in control of the entire world. It's because there was a point in time where they were certainly more powerful than they are now, right? But that's just, again, people just not being sophisticated in their understanding of history and how things have changed. So some people feel like, oh, we're still living in the era of like the Holy Roman Empire. You're like, is that what you think that was? Like, is that what you think that was? Uh, so we're gonna learn about that stuff today, and we're all gonna learn because, like I said, I'm not super into religious conspiracies, um, except for obviously Project Bluebeam. Yeah, some people. So like Mo Nop on YouTube says, but the Jews control the Catholics. Now you joke, but like some people believe that. That's where this stuff gets confusing. Like some people believe that, and some people believe that the Catholics control the Jews. It's obviously these people are aware of the other alternative explanation. Uh, like that Michelle Melendez was saying down on Stu Peters. So yeah, let's, maybe I can find her speaking on that. Actually, that would be great. I think, and I forgot to preface what I was saying with this. The first time I heard about the Black Pope and the existence of a secretive sect within the Vatican, which not only controls the real Pope, but a bunch of other governments and people in positions of power. I saw it in this movie starring Heath Ledger called Sin Eater, which is not as popular as like the sister movie. Oh, yeah, it was Shannon Sosaman in this. Not as popular as the sister movie. So we'll watch the trailer for this, and then we'll do what we normally do, which is watch conspiracy theory videos. I don't think I don't think